Now I'd like to tie for you a fly that I designed myself, and this is called a Pink Lady. The hook I have in the vise is a standard Salmon Fly hook. It is a size 2. You can see the bend back there, and using that bend back is important. And I'm going to start out by taking some 15 thousandths lead wire, and I'm going to wrap the lead wire. Oops, it slipped on me. And I'm going to wrap the shank with lead wire to start. And I'm going to push it all the way up to the bend back, if I can. Wrap those last couple wraps right in. And there we go. Push it right up to the bend back. And the thread I'm going to use, I have 6/0 70 denier thread. And I'm going to wrap in back of the lead wire first. And I want to make a bit of a taper going up the lead, up to the top of the lead wire. So I'm going to go back and forth a few times. And so we need something to cover over the lead wire. And all I'm going to do is, I have a couple pieces of peacock herl here, and peacock herl covers lead wire pretty good. So I got a piece, this is just a piece that's laying on the table. And that far side is more, that needs it. I'm going to wrap that in, maybe fold it over. Once again, and wrap that in. And the whole object of this is to cover over the lead wire. Alright, I'm going to fold that back once last time. And this is going to get covered pretty well. And that looks pretty good where the floss isn't going to go in. And I'm going to move the thread back, and I'm going to stop it halfway between the barb and the point of the hook. And I'm going to take, I have number 16 silver and gold tinsel. And I'm going to tie it in so that I see the silver. This is going to be a tag. And wrap that all down. And now I'm going to take my pink floss, and I'm going to tie that in just above the silver tinsel. I'm going to move my bobbin cradle and wrap it around that bobbin cradle so it stays out of the way. I'm going to take the silver tinsel and I'm going to start the tag. I'm going to wrap backwards. This is number 16. Remember, if you use bigger, it won't take as many wraps. And that was 3 wraps towards the back. And I'm coming up Yeah, now there's the tag, and I'm going to go beyond the tag, the tie-in point, and this is just for the purpose of securing it to the shank. Make sure that you hold it tight until you get that first tight wrap on there. And now I'm going to move my bobbin cradle out of my way again. And I'm going to bring that orange or the pink floss back once again. To the point, to the edge of the tag where you want that tag to end. And I'm going to bring the thread forward. And I'm going to wrap a tag of the pink floss. And I went up about a couple of mils, 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 maybe, and I'm going to tie that off. And I'm still leaving it on. I'm not trimming anything yet. And now at this point I have a golden pheasant back feather. This is from the back of the golden pheasant, and it's pretty close to the color of the golden pheasant crest. It's a little browner, but I'm going to use this for the tail. And I'm going to take it and I'm going to tie it on with the concave side up. And I'm going to loosely put that first wrap just to hold it in place. Put another. And I'm going to pull this just slightly. There we go. And now I'm going to pull that thread tighter. And you can see it has an upward curve. And I'm going to trim off the excess. I'm going to leave a little bit of a tag there so I can wrap it down. And now I'm going to take black ostrich herl. You know, I have the 2 black ostrich herl, and I'm going to tie them in right there. And trim away the excess. And I'm going to wrap it forward. I'm going to pull back the tinsel and the floss and wrap in front of it and tie down that tag. Now I'm going to take the black ostrich herl and I'm going to wrap a butt there. You don't want to twist them together because you want them to stand up. There we go. And I'm going to end it right there. That's about 2 mils. Looks a bit fatter because of the ostrich plume, the barbels off the stems. And I'm going to remove the excess. There's one. And there's two. I'm going to move the thread up the shank, and I'm going to bring it up to the bend back of the hook. Move that tinsel out of the way, and I'm going to wrap the pink floss, and I'm going to wrap that up to the bend back. And when you reach the bend back, go ahead and tie it off. Give it the crossover and tie that off. Make sure that floss is tight. You don't want it unraveling on you. And I held it back and put a couple more wraps right in on the fold back of the floss. Always push the thread out of your way when you're cutting. And now I'm going to wrap the silver tinsel, and I'm going to counter wrap it. We're going to give it one. Oh, it slipped. One, two, take your time. You want to have nice even wraps on it. I'm going to attach my hackle pliers right on the end. Don't want to squash the tinsel. At the same time, when you use the hackle pliers on a piece of tinsel, you have to make sure that you don't twist the tinsel around, especially if you're using, well, when you're using any kind, but if you're using black or gold and silver, then you don't want to end up with half gold and half silver. And I'm going to bring it right up to the bend back, and whoop, it rolled off there. There we go. So I say take your time. Hold that tension on the tinsel and tie that in, making sure I got a pretty good wrap. I'm going to actually wrap that tinsel up the double bend just slightly, and it's getting more of an even body there. Or there we go. And then I'm going to remove it. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over, and I see I have a piece of pink in between there, so I'll just put a couple of wraps right there. And now for the belly, I have this is a golden pheasant flank feather. Lay that on the belly, and you want it to be curved like in this direction. And I'm going to tie that in right at that point. And if it's laying too flat to the shank, you can just hold it up and put a wrap right in back of it, and that will take it away. And I'm going to remove the excess. Tie them in. For the wing, a pair of pink strung saddle hackle. Here we go. And we have them, I have the crew cut on them. And then we're going to tie them in right on top. Take some loose wraps first to make sure that you don't have the thread pull it over. And there we go. And now for an overwing, I have a gray, this is a darker natural done hackle, and I'm going to size them up to the same size as the pink. We're going to take those done hackles, and we're going to lay them right alongside the pink hackles. Loose wrap so you don't pull it around too far. And take the second, lay that right alongside on the opposite side, and wrap them in. And now for side feathers, side flank feathers, I have another pair of the golden pheasant back feather. And I'm going to lay them right on the side. I prepared it the same way, give it the crew cut. And we're going to attach these right to the side of the shank. You got to bring that up just a bit. There we go. You can see that head is getting larger as we're going. And lastly, for the cheeks, I'm going to turn my vise sideways just to make this a little easier for myself. This is golden pheasant. This is the neck feather from the golden pheasant. I'm going to place them right on the side. And I'm going to take the other and place it on my side. And I'm going to trim away those stems. And now we're going to tidy up the head. Form a nice head there. Bring the thread down close to the eye of the hook and whip finish it at that point. Tighten it up. Remove that thread. And now I'm going to take the black nail polish and give it a nice shiny head on there. And ensure that it isn't going to unwrap on us. And when you use the black nail polish, take your time not to get any on your materials. And having your brush cut to a taper really helps in this situation. And I need the bottom. And here we have a pink lady. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please leave comments, questions, suggestions. And most of all, I thank you very much for watching my video.